Alright, welcome to legs and abs supersets. So we're going to start with a foot elevated split squat. So finding like a step or a chair not too high, and you're going to have your front foot elevated. And it's a very wide stance. And as you come down, lean forward from your hips, and as you press up, push into that front leg. Now I'm only demoing one side at a time, so of course you're going to do this on the other side. Push into your heel, use your exhale as you push your body away from your foot on the diagonal. And I'm not holding weights, but you will, because this was my third workout and I didn't need to. And then we're going to superset that with a banded reverse crunch with your knees apart. Now you can add the leg extension as I'm going to demonstrate, or you can just stick with a reverse crunch, keeping your knees bent if you have low back issues. So once again, modify, listen to your body and where you're at. So there's the leg extension and the hip abduction. And then there's the bent leg example there. So I'm just modifying, and I feel it less in my low back. I was very tired at this point, so I was very careful to work with my body where it's at. And then here is just the bent leg banded reverse crunch with the knees apart, making sure you always exhale when you do that crunch. So there's your superset. You're going to go legs, abs, legs, abs. And then the intermediate and advanced option, this one is hard, hanging banded reverse crunch. So it's essentially the same move that we did on the floor, but you are hanging, or you can even do it from the hanging support at your gym where you can put your forearms on the band. And same thing, I can only do about 10 to 12 of these on a good day, and I managed to bust out 10 here. So that is your first superset. Do 1 or 2 supersets, beginners, intermediate, advanced, do 3 and 4. Alright, next superset. We're going to start with the sumo squat. So feet are wide, toes are turned out, hence the sumo squat. As you squat down, I want you to push into your heels, pushing your knees out, keeping your upper body slightly leaning forward from your hip crease, and really activate your glutes. Push into your heels and squeeze your glutes hard at the top. So the glute squeeze at the top is very important, and I want you to push those heels and those inner thighs together hard at the top. That's going to get that dynamic tension and contraction. If you have knee issues, I would suggest holding a closer stance and not turning your knees out, as the turned out toes can put a little bit more lateral stress into the knee joint. And then we're going to superset that with another ab move. This is one of my favorites. It's a pullover crunch with your feet together, knees apart. The feet together, knees apart turns the hip flexor off and makes the abs really work in this one. Arms are slightly bent, moving those arms from your shoulder joint, not necessarily your elbow, and keeping your low ribs pushing into the ground as you extend your arms back, contracting up on your exhale, lifting your whole shoulder blade off the ground. If you can do a full sit-up in this one, go for it, as long as you do not feel it in your low back. But once again, I was pretty tired here, so the crunch is just as beneficial. And of course, choose a weight that is going to challenge you. So that is your second superset, doing those 2 moves. Beginners 1 to 2 supersets, intermediate, advanced 3 and 4. Alright, this move is a single set. So we're just going to work from one leg to the other a few sets right here, just to break up the routine and really focus on your legs. Especially if you're a beginner, you're going to want to rest. So warrior lunges, one of my favorite ways to lunge, really tones the inner thighs, gets the glutes, gets the hamstrings without bulking the quads. Warrior 2 position, so back toe is turned to the side, front foot is straight. Wide enough stance so you're only bending into that front leg, pushing through your heel, hinging at your hip crease. Knee should not go past the toe, so you need a wide enough stance in order to not let that happen. So, beginners, you're going to do 1 or 2 single sets, intermediate and advanced, 2 to 4 single sets. And then if you're an intermediate and advanced and you're a gym goer and you want even more of a challenge, you're going to do this last superset, banded sumo deadlift with dumbbell, one of my favorites. So sumo means feet are wide, toes out, banded, so that added resistance on the hips, so when you come up and push your pelvis forward, you're going to squeeze and contract all of those gluteal fibers. It's a really great way to hit the booty, and the deadlift is great for toning up the cellulite area, your low back, and your hamstrings and your glutes. Pushing into your heels, hinging at your hips, so your spine should stay relatively straight the whole way through. And don't forget that mindful muscle contraction, hard at the top. And then you're going to superset that move with high cable crunches. So you want to set a cable high with a rope attachment, knees apart, feet together. You're going to crunch all the way down, holding the rope at the top of your head, keeping your elbows in really tight, squeezing your abs, and bringing your elbows all the way down to the floor. And see how I pause right at the ground? I'm exhaling and contracting my core really tight and controlling it on the up phase. This one's great. I love it. It gives me great definition through my rectus abdominis, which is the six-pack muscle. And that is your workout.